Hello, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so I have another Pure Fiction video for you guys today, and for this season of Pure Fiction, it's all about damage over time. So luckily we have our Kafka and Black Swan team on the second half. On the first half, I ran my Firefly team, initially with Himiko. I did an attempt without any sustain, and I scored around like the low 30k, 30 to 33k on average for each run. I wanted to full clear though, however, so obviously that didn't work out. The problem was the last wave with Bronya and the like little goblet monsters that do DOT to your team. The damage started adding up, like everything from Bronya's headshots to the DOT just slowly ticking away at your team. So that didn't quite work out as planned. And for the second half, I have my traditional Black Swan Kafka team with Acheron. Initially, I was going to run these three with Robin, with no sustain as well, but after struggling quite a bit on the first half, I figured, nah, I'm just going to put Fu Xuan on there and not have to sweat too much, because Fu Xuan basically keeps your team alive. And we did have enough damage to pull through for a full clear. As for the buff on the first half, I chose the first one, Gimmick, right here. Increases your break effect. And when breaking enemy targets, all enemies become inflicted with Wind Shear, and this DOT will add up eventually. Of course, they are immune to crowd control effects after this, but we don't really have any sort of crowd control effects other than the initial break. And I guess Ron May's, additional break as well. That one actually works, so don't worry about that if you're running Ron May. For the second half, our buff is Drunk Talk. After an ally uses an ultimate to attack an enemy target, if the target currently has 1 to 3 different types of DOTs, they will all immediately deal a certain amount of damage. It's sort of like Kafka's DOT proc. And all my characters have attacks or ultimates that attack the enemy, so a very, very strong buff for them on the second half. Besides that, nothing else much to say, I guess, other than I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay as usual. Alright, so for the first half, we start off with Trailblazer's technique. I accidentally hit Ron May's technique twice, and then we initiate the fight with Firefly's technique. We're going to hit this middle wolf mob here on Ron May. I've done it so many times that it's just become a muscle memory at this point. Into Ron May's ultimate. Firefly with skill. Gallagher, we're just going to break a random wolf to the side. Doesn't really matter. And then we're going to use the skill on the Trailblazer here. I popped it a little bit late. I'm actually supposed to pop Firefly's ultimate and then Trailblazer's ultimate, but for some reason, I think I did it so many times my hands were tired at this point. But it doesn't really matter, like I said, because we have Gallagher for this particular run, so even if the Goblet dude, that's what I'm going to call him, gets the DOT off, which that DOT adds up. Like, the first initial waves, there's not that much damage, because you also take reduced damage if their enemies are inflicted with DOT. But once you get to the third wave, oh my god, it starts adding up, because there's usually at least 2 of them on the field. And then Bronya obviously does not help things. Bronya actually makes it worse, because she can cleanse all the debuffs and DOTs with her advance forward. It's really annoying. Alright, so we're just clearing out the mobs here with Firefly, the same usual stuff. Ron May here has max skill points, but we still go for the basic attack. Alright, the second wave, if you don't have a sustain, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You actually have to plan it out. You want to prioritize the stupid bugs that cause your team to become outraged. And then you want to prioritize the trash cans. Because the trash cans do a lot of damage. Even though you take reduced damage, their kicks do quite a bit. And then every time they do a kick, the damage actually adds up. But, of course, if you don't have a cleanser on your team, I do. But just in case, I don't want to have to use my skill on Gallagher. We're still going to prioritize the stupid beetles, the swarm beetles here. That cause your team to do RNG stuff. Alright, so they're going to go in that phase. That's like their charge phase. Their next attack will be the suicide bombing attack that outrages your team. Pop Ron May's skill here. Into the ultimate. Here I actually go for the trash can. Because it's a bounce, it's going to hit the bugs regardless. Not really that great of an outcome here, since I'm not going to be able to weakness break all the mobs. But I noticed that the bug to the left is already glowing. That means he's going to take action and Cause my team to become outraged, so we target him. Gallagher luckily advances forward and takes care of this bug here. And we're going to weakness break this one. Unfortunately here, Firefly is about to exit the combustion stage, so we have to stall a little bit for her to use her skill and also, what do you call it, get enough energy to use her ultimate. Unfortunately, both bugs die, so we're just gonna have to deal with it on this part of the fight. We go ahead and pop Trailblazer's ultimate here. Alright, so we have the ultimate now. We advance forward. We want to weakness break Bronya, especially when Raw May still has her ultimate field up. This will allow us to, what do you call it, prevent Bronya from taking an additional action. Or he'll weakness break her twice. And you want Bronya to stay down because Bronya is the one that causes all kinds of issues. She does a lot of damage, she advances forward her teammates, and she also cleanses the DOTs and, what do you call it, debuffs on them. Also a trick here, if you're running Firefly, since Firefly does blast damage rather than full AoE, you want to try to kill off a lot of the like little smaller mobs, like these little ornament apes, with like your other teammates like Gallagher, Ron May, the Harmony Trailblazer. Just use their chip damage to slowly whittle them away. Yeah, like that. So it spawns new ones for Firefly to either kill or weakness break. So here I'm going to go on the right and try to kill off some of the ornament apes with the chip damage from the Harmony Trailblazer. Alright, Bronya's back up, and you can start seeing that she starts doing a lot of annoying things. Advancing forward, dispelling debuffs. Luckily, she did not, what do you call it, cleanse the, what do you call it, Goblet dude. Because he is the most annoying. We did not get the kill there, unfortunately. So I don't want to waste my damage on that mob, so we decided to go for the apes to the side here. And he's going to die to a DOT, as you can see here. So, luckily I didn't go for that. Gallagher's ultimate. We're gonna weakness break this dude. And that attack right there usually does a lot more. But it hit my Ruanmei. My Ruanmei is probably the second tankiest person on the team. When I was running Himiko, if that sniper shot hit Himiko, she's basically dead. It'd do like half her health. Alright, there's Ruanmei's ultimate. Did a skill from the Trailblazer. Unfortunately, Firefly has exited her combustion state again, which is really annoying. Once again, doing some chip damage here to kill off the side mobs. Gonna use the skill here to kill off one of the side mobs as well. She's still a little bit short of her ultimate, but we're almost done. And she will get another turn before the cycle ends, luckily. So I'm worried, but not too worried at the same time. They're all getting weakness broken twice because of Ruanmei's ultimate. Go for that. Immediately pop the ultimate. Advance forward to kill off these two mobs. And here I want to prioritize the ape because Bronya actually takes additional damage once there aren't any other allies on the field. So we still have Gallagher and Ruanmei to finish her off. And I noticed that Gallagher is about to have his ultimate come up here. So luckily for us. I probably should have popped it here, but I decided... Actually, I did pop it here. Never mind. I thought I was going to basic attack with Ruanmei. Alright. And then Gallagher will be able to finish off Bronya here. And that's the first half. Clutch. Second half, we have Black Swan's technique, Fu Xuan's technique, and we initiate the fight with Kafka's technique. Here we're just waiting for them to all attack because I want to get some Crimson Knot stacks for Acheron here. Every time they hit Fu Xuan, who has the Light Cone, they get burnt. We're going to finish off this mob. He's going to die to DOT, and then now we're going to pop Acheron's ultimate for the most efficient way of using it. In this second half, it's not really about the damage. It's more about, what do you call it? not surviving either if you have someone like Fushen, but this half has a lot of hard CC. There's imprisons from these annoying maidens, and then once you get to Yang Qing, he can freeze your teammates as well. You'll see how annoying it gets once we get to the last wave. So it's not really like how much damage your team can deal. It's more like you have to either have a really good cleanser, or you need to just pray to RNG that your team doesn't get imprisoned or, what do you call it, frozen. So I guess someone like Aventurine, if you have him, he gives your team a lot of effect resist. That'd probably be the most consistent way. I can't really think of any healers. I guess like Lynx maybe, but yeah, I guess you could run Lynx, but you'll be losing out on a lot of damage if you run her. But yeah, basically you need a really good cleanser, or just pray to RNG that your team doesn't, or your damage dealers don't get hard CC'd. Alright, so for the second wave, we still have the trash cans, and the annoying part here is the traffic light mobs here, because they can spawn a shield that prevents them from taking 1 instance of damage. However, since this is a DOT, season, they died at DOT anyways, because the shield doesn't block any DOT procs, so luckily Black Swan is able to deal with them here. There's Kafka's ultimate, clearing out the wave. They hit Akron, which is actually the worst target. The best target is Fushen, because not only does Fushen get energy, but Akron gets stacks as well. But when they hit Akron, you don't get any energy, and all it does is hurt Akron. So Akron, like that right there, is the worst possible target. We're maxed out on Crimson Knot stacks here, but I obviously don't want to waste my ultimate on only 2 mobs. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. Kill off the trash can here. Still maxed out, and then we're just gonna basic here, and then the DOT is gonna kill off this traffic light here. Now we're gonna immediately pop the ultimate on Akron. We're gonna target the Maiden with Crimson Knot stacks here. And then here, I believe I just basic because I've noticed my ult is coming up, so I don't need to actually hit that mob there. I'll automatically weakness break once I press the ultimate here. Alright, and then immediately into the Kafka ultimate. The mobs here are a little bit bulkier than the first 2 waves. And as you can see here, that's how annoying it is. Yang Qing froze my Kafka. And shortly here, my Akron's about to get imprisoned. So there you go. 2 of my DPS characters immobilized on the last wave, which is arguably the most important wave. Since they're not going to be able to move, I decided to use my skill on Black Swan there earlier. And then another annoying part is these little lizard stupid things can also slow and push back your allies. So they did that to Kafka. Luckily, she wasn't pushed back all the way to the next cycle. There's Akron's ultimate. We're going to focus this Maiden here, who's about to get weakness broken. Hitting Akron once again, the worst target possible. And here's another phrase. Kafka just doesn't get to play the game, as you can see here. She literally doesn't get to play the game. And her passive's up, so she can't even do the follow-up attack for the extra, shock. So essentially, this entire fight, Black Swan has been doing some of the work, and then I've used 2 Akron ults, essentially. That's literally all that's been happening. Luckily, they're all focusing Fushan here, so we're getting Crimson Knot stacks. Yeah, a lot of RNG in the second half, unfortunately. It all depends on who gets hard CC and whether or not I get enough Crimson Knot stacks from them hitting Fushen, which they should be because she's a preservation character. Here's Kafka's ultimate, but apparently they don't prioritize Fushen. They just hit whoever the hell they want. All right, we're almost done here. There's only the Maiden and Yang Qing, and here I actually believe it's a critical mistake. I just thought for some reason that the Maiden would die to DOT or something, or to the extra splash damage from Kafka's skill. We should have focused the Maiden first because, like I said earlier, the boss takes additional damage, a lot more additional damage actually, once all the other mobs have been taken out. And as you can see here, we could have easily killed off that Maiden, but I make another mistake here. I'm deciding right now, should I kill off the Maiden now or go for Yang Qing? At this point, I figured we're going to be able to, kill Yang Qing regardless. Because as you can see here shortly, once it gets to Akron's turn here, we're going to kill off the Maiden. It's going to provide an additional Crimson Knot stack due to Black Swan, and then now Black Swan's just going to be able to basic for the last Crimson Knot stack into the Acheron ultimate for the awesome finish. And there you go. That is the second half. We completed it. Pure Fiction, fully cleared. Alright, let me go over my characters and their gear real quick. Starting off with my Firefly. These are her stats. Lycone is on the Fall of an Eon. That's 5. Trace is maxed out, except for basic. These are her relics. I changed it up a little bit, I believe. And that's with her planar sphere. I used to have this piece right here with 6 speed, but I slowed her down a bit for a little bit of break effect because she was already too fast. She was at like 174 speed. That's more than enough speed, so I decided to slow her down a bit. Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 2. Second is going to be my Roan Mei. These are her stats. I also did change up her gear a little bit, I believe. I'll show you guys in a moment. Lycone is Dance 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 at S4. Traces are finally basically maxed out, other than the 2 defense nodes and the basic. These are her relics. I went from a 4-piece speed set to a 2-piece speed, 2-piece break effect set. I figured a little extra break effect would help her do a little bit more damage, as well as my teammates, although the damage percent boost from her skill isn't as important on the break effect Firefly team, but it did help out a little bit. Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Next is the Harmony Trailblazer. These are his stats. Lycone is Memories of the Past at S3. Traces. Still need to max out the ultimate, although it's not really that much of a big deal, I guess. It's 3. No, it's 2% break effect. Yeah, it's probably not worth it, but I'm a completionist, and I don't know. That 11 out of 12 just doesn't look good to me. These are his relics. 4-piece break effect set, the Watchmaker set. And then a 2-piece Talia Kingdom of Banditry set. Eidolon, he's at Eidolon 6. And last for the first half is Gallagher, the old dog. These are his stats. Lycone is Quid Pro Quo at S5. Traces. Relics, he's on a 2-piece break, 2-piece speed, and the Kama 2-piece set. I don't want to try and pronounce it ever again. Forge of the Kalapagani Lantern set. Okay, yeah, whatever. And then his Eidolons are at Eidolon 6. Alright, on to the second team, starting off with Black Swan. These are his stats. Lycone is Eyes of the Prey at S5. Traces. I might put more investment later on in these other abilities, although it's not going to really boost her damage up by that much, because most of the damage comes from her DOT on her talent anyways. These are her relics, by the way. I might eventually go back to farming both Kafka and Black Swan's relics. I have not touched them in probably almost a year. Like when they first initially came out, I farmed their relics for maybe like the first 1 or 2 months, and then I kind of just stopped because I forgot. I think I might have started working on either Lunane or was it Acheron? I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, these are her Eidolons, Eidolon 0. Speaking of Acheron, here she is. These are her stats. Normally when I run Acheron on Pure Fiction, I swap her out for speed boots, but I think I either forgot or was too lazy this time, so she's at base speed. This is her Lycone, signature Lycone at S1. Trace is fully maxed out other than the basic. These are her relics. As you can see, these are her normal relics that I usually run her in both Memory of Chaos and Apocalyptic Shadow. But if I were to run her in Pure Fiction and I weren't lazy, I'd probably swap her out for these boots right here that Welt is currently carrying. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 6. Or not 6, holy crap. I wish I had Eidolon 6 Acheron. Eidolon 2. Alright, next is Kafka. These are her stats. Lycone is Good Night Sleep Well at S4. Traces. Relics. She's still missing a Planar Sphere set. That's why I said I should probably go back to farming for her relics. Both her and Black Swan at some point. Eidolons, she doesn't have any. Alright, last but definitely not least is Fu Xuan, who kept my team from exploding, which I'm pretty sure they would have if I didn't put her on the team. These are his stats. Lycone is trend of the universal market at S4. We're not going to talk about her traces. I just don't feel like putting any more investment into Fushuan's traces. Some people might be mad about that, but it is what it is. Relics, she's on a 2-piece HP, 2-piece speed, and a 2-piece, I forgot. Is it called Fleet of the Ageless set? Yeah, this piece right here. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Alrighty guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you guys in my next Honkai Star Rail video. Until then, take care, and peace.
Good times never last. Time to say bye.